Last one. Look at that. Perfect.
Going on over there. And for someone like me to come walking in and see it all, this is just like a repeat of the commercial industry that I've just been in, but in just as dark in another way.
Do you know what, Brian? If I was in the same room as you now, I'd fucking kiss you, mate.
How are you, Stan?
I'm right, thank you.
Good friend of mine. I'll give you a kiss in a minute,
I
bruv.
hope so.
Well, it's
I deserve one.
purely masculine, yeah.
I mean, man.
Hang on, what John Harris stories? John, hang on, let me get to this first. John Harris has said to me then that apparently in some nightclub somewhere, I've seen some secret door open or something, right? And she went, oh yeah, you know where that was? That was when we was in Brown's and we went up and we was in the geezer's office. Do you remember? And then he hit a button and the wall moved and we went upstairs again. And I went, oh yeah. Now, the reason I couldn't remember that, I would never have remembered that, but it was the secret door. I remember being bewildered with this, oh mate, that's brilliant. I always liked a fireplace that turned round. You know, stairs lift up and you got a secret room. Do you know what I mean? Like a little like a panic room, or put a studio in there or something.
So what was it again? It was in Brown's, and where is Brown's?
That was up, where is that? It's up London, like up, it'll all be there. But that was the night, right? That was the night. And so it's funny that there's a picture there, because I'm trying to have it help me remember where I was at then, and I can't remember back that far. I can't. Right, but
so she said, sorry, what year was that then?
That's got to be 1993 or 1994.
No, quite early on.
Sorry,
when you went to the office, what part opened the wall?
I remember the desk was sort of, you could walk round the back of the desk, so your back would be to the back of the wall and the desk was in front, and it was behind the desk to the right, I think. And that moved and we went up some stairs. Right. And at the top of the stairs there was a curtain over the door, and the guys sort of opened the door for us, pulled the curtain back, and Danny's walked through with me holding her hand, and it's like we've had to walk sort of 3 or 4 metres to go through this room, which goes out into a corridor with more rooms off of it, right? And it was all red. The floor was red, the walls were red, the lighting was red, closed red lighting, like them little Icke red lamps. It was red. And we've had to cut through this room to get to the red corridor. And as we've cut through this room, I've sort of turned holding Danny's hand and got my head down like, sorry, you know what I mean, one of them. And I've looked to the left and I've clocked this knee, which I thought was this woman's knee. And I saw this knee and I thought, that don't look right now. That knee looks really skinny, man. I thought, I ain't filling out the suspender properly. And as I looked round and I looked up, I thought, she was done up like a woman, but it was a girl. She was too, I don't know, 13 or something, I don't know. You know, and I remember it was the knee that done me. I thought, that knee don't look right. I had to take a double look. I thought, this woman looks a bit weird. And I looked back, I thought, no, she's young. And I looked next to her, and it was a boy in a suit. And then there was like 4 adults around them. And I don't know them lot.
And how old was the boy?
He looked younger than the girl.
Like 10?
11, 12 could have been. Just guessing.
That makes sense now. What else come on? You've been to the doctors twice, didn't they?
Yeah.
You've been to the doctors twice.
Yeah.
And they said
I was really hoping that they'll find some scars or something.
Why?
And they did find some scars. I have no idea why.
You don't know why?
No, I had no idea why. I was like hoping. I was hoping for.
Why was you hoping they'd find some?
Because then they'll say, you did not have any scars, so then I thought I'll get in trouble for not, because I don't have scars, then I'll get in trouble for not.
I've always told you that as long as you tell me everything, you won't get in trouble.
Yeah, but all
and that's
about
still
that
true
church, now. All about that church, all about the what's his name, Father Paul's room, it's all not true.
All not true. Okay.
That's why I was so worried that you won't find any scars in rooms.
Okay.
The rooms are true, not the secret room.
Yeah, no.
But the nursery room, all of that is true. then I was so scared that you won't find the scars in the church. So then I was so scared and worried.
It's fine. It's fine. But are you telling me the truth now?
Yeah, that's true.
Good. So, okay. Is there anything you'd like to ask me? Is there?
What are you gonna do with my mum? What are you gonna do with Abraham and my mum?
They obviously need to be asked about why, because I've spoken to your mum a couple of times, and I've told her off about asking you questions about it already, because I don't think it's fair that she should be asking you certain things, because I felt that she's putting under pressure. I thought she was putting you under pressure. So that's what's happened so far. That I've told your mum off already about speaking to you about it, and although she wasn't happy with that, I didn't think it was fair that she kept asking you and your brother. Really, I thought it was better that I ask you. What about, you told me about obviously the swimming pool, you told me lots of people in these disabled toilets, and they've done stuff with you.
Yeah, that's true. This is true, yeah.
It's true. Even though you said you was only 4 and you hadn't been to that school.
No, they were friends, like the teachers, like I knew was when I was 4 years old because my sister was in the school when I was 4 years old.
Okay, so what we'll do is try and sort out what's true and what's not true. So the babies, it's not true. So no babies are being killed. There's no baby skulls. The secret rooms, are there any secret rooms? What about with the wardrobes and going in on a
No, there's
wardrobe?
not. Look, no, that's not.
Cupboards.
There's no. Yeah, and then
So have you been to a house of your dad's with secret rooms?
no.
So there's no secret rooms.
No.
And have you ever been to Mr. Mulling's house? Have you?
Holling.
Mr.
No,
Holling's
no,
house.
Hollings. It's Hollings.
Have you ever been to Mr. Mulling's house?
Yeah. It's number 5, and it's number 4. No, it's number 10, and it's from how is it called? Highgate Road.
Okay. Well, we went to 10 Highgate Road, remember, and it was a block of flats, wasn't it? Remember?
Yeah.
Remember, you won't get into trouble.
Yeah.
I promise you. As long as you just tell me the truth about, if we can just talk about the truth.
Yeah.
So, have you been to Mr. Holling's house?
No, because he's my teacher. No, he's not my teacher. He's my sister.
It's your sister's teacher, so you haven't been to his house. Okay. So why did you say you'd been to Mr. Holling's house before?
Well, my dad actually stays there. Because he doesn't like staying alone.
Oh, okay.
So he stays at Mr. Holling's house.
Okay. And now, after all this stuff with Abraham, and you say he's telling you, he keeps accusing you, can you remember what things are true and what things aren't true? You can.
Yeah, I can.
So,
But whatever worries me all the time, I remember.
okay, so we know there's no baby skulls, no babies being killed, you haven't been to, your dad hasn't got any secret rooms, and you haven't been to Mr. Holling's house. Okay.
Well, actually, my dad actually is supposed to be living in how's it called? Sheffield,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have London. He doesn't have a house in London. He actually lives in Sheffield.
Oh, he lives in
With
Sheffield.
his mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, but do you know when I was on Skype?
Yeah.
I seen on Skype. He told me he was in Sheffield.
Oh, okay. Okay, so does your dad live in Sheffield?
Yeah, but he stays in his other friend's house. I don't know, and he stays in Mr. Holling's house.
Okay.
Yeah, and then sometimes he goes off back to Sheffield.
Okay. All right. So, and do you know he stays at Mr. Holling's house, or do you guess that?
No,
Your
I
dad?
don't. No, I don't. No,
You don't know. You guess, or you
no
know?
I don't guess because my dad and Mr. Holling are really close friends. Really
Okay.
close.
Okay. And the stuff with plastic willies. How did you find out about plastic willies? Who told you about plastic willies?
No, nobody, that's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've been told something different.
About Lisa?
Yeah. So what? Honestly, you can just be truthful. If things aren't, I promise you won't get in trouble if you've lied before. I promise. But all it is, I need to know the truth and what to look for and who to speak to. And so, if some of it is a lie and you've lied about something, I promise you won't get in trouble. Okay?
So I lied, and none of it was like real.
None of it. Okay. So why was you nervous about telling me that none of it was real?
Because Abraham already got you.
Yeah.
He already got you of it.
Right.
And he wait, do you know the first time he ever found out me and my sister touching?
Yeah.
It wasn't actually true, we had kissed her.
Oh, okay.
We actually never touched. I know it's against the law, and we never touched.
She never touched.
No, we never touched each other.
Okay. Okay. You've been to the doctors there, haven't you?
Yeah.
And they said that there are. Did they tell you what they found? The doctors. What did they say?
Bruises.
Bruises. Where were the bruises? How did you get them?
I've got no idea.
So how did you think of that idea? Was it you that thought of it, or?
No. Yeah, I'm the one who thought of it. When he found out of us touching.
Well, that's one. Look at that. Perfect.
Nice.
Is he?
So the 3 last week, this is actually the truth what happened.
Go on.
The 3 last week, the first time, I remember, the first time we went, I don't remember the first one. Actually, I remember it. The first time we went shopping and buy some food for us, and then we went to Taxi Land. It was closed, but we ate, and then he gave us £10 for our pocket money. That's the first time he ever gave us pocket money.
Who? Your dad?
Yeah, he gave us £10.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really much. And then we went to Taxi Land because we parked near Taxi Land and we ate in the car. And then we cleaned the car and then we went to Taxi Land and it was closed. Then it was nearly for us to go back to the centre.
Yeah.
And then the next time we went swimming to East Finchley.
Okay. So you're saying the only reason you said this about your dad was good? Yeah, good. And it is 11:35 on the 17th of September. Do you know what happened?
2010, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake rocked the Haitian capital city, Port-au-Prince. The quake was a devastating blow to what was already the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. As the death toll rose, it became apparent that thousands of children had been orphaned by the disaster.
There are some 350,000 orphans in Haiti, and that's just an estimate.
Record keeping is so bad, no one really knows.
I can't remember how, but I found out that the police were looking for me. It might have been social services got in touch with me and said that you need to go to the police station and the children have been taken away from your mom. And I'm saying, why? Why they've been taken away from the mom? What's going on? And they wouldn't tell me anything. And I was kind of freaking out a little bit.
And what did the police say to you that you'd been accused of?
They said, I'm okay with what they said. It's more that it had come from my children. They'd said that I'm the leader of a satanic satanic sex cult paedophile ring, and there's 100 plus involvement in this, including Kafkas, the police, social services, the school.
So it does happen, and it does explain some of the mind-boggling decisions they make on children. Family courts, unfortunately, has been inverted, turned upside down, due to Satanist infiltration. We are talking now about a system that is more likely to protect abusers than to protect children from abusers. And I think that's a very important requirement, because that would exclude a lot of the establishment types who are either involved in SRA or are turning a blind eye to it and wouldn't dare to expose it, because then they'd be exposing a lot of their establishment colleagues. And then you end up with as the elite scratching each other's back, as normally happens in these cases.
Next question. Does researching this for over 20 years turn Wilfred's mind and send him insane, especially watching videos of child abuse, photographs, etc.?
I don't think I'm insane, because if I was, I wouldn't be on this program twice, unless that is a qualification to be on this program.
None of us are insane in here. We're all normal.
You know that sign that they used to sell, you don't have to be crazy to work here, but it helps. No, but seriously, the effect that this will have is different for different people. Children, can you imagine what it's like for the child himself or herself? Start with that. Don't start with your reaction. Start with the child's reaction to the abuse and the torture. Because you are just seeing it secondhand. What is it like for the victim firsthand? Because you can look at SRA survivors now, and yes, what they went through was horrific, but let's remember there are a lot of children now going through all that across the country, in our own backyard. I remember once going to an SRA location where a 14-year-old girl had been sacrificed. It was only about 20 minutes walk from where I lived. So I'm not kidding when I say it can be in your own backyard. And the other awful thing was that there was a police station only about 50 yards from there. It is a lot closer than you realize. And we need to start with the child suffering and look at what we can do. We all can do something to help stop that suffering. Doing something to protect children from these unimaginable horrors.
That case you mentioned, did they catch the people? 14 who murdered the 14-year-old girl, did they catch the people?
Unfortunately, no. And it shows the boldness of this coven and possible police shielding of them, that they were willing to do it in the basement of a building that was just 50 yards from a police station.
Good grief.
In fact, sometimes the police park their vehicles in front of that building. But I haven't given up on monitoring that place and will continue to do so. But it is a lot more prevalent than we think. It's not somewhere far away out in the countryside or woods. It can be in a house in your neighborhood. It can be in a house within walking distance from where you are.
And I'm the leader of this. And I mean, I'm sat across, and they're recording this, and I'm sat across from the table from the police officer asking the questions. And I don't know how to answer that to...
Well, what was your reaction? I mean, did you...
It's difficult to have a reaction, because I was kind of okay, because it's just ludicrous.
Yes.
It was the fact that my children had said this.
And what else had they apparently told the police that you'd done?
They said that my children, my two children, 8 and 9,
It's okay.
It can be in a park. I've come across parks that are used for SRA. It can be a wood that you like to walk your dog in. They're very skillful at using everyday places for the most horrific things in the middle of the night.
I've never seen anything quite like it. I mean, maybe it's a doctored image, but for the people that know Wilfred Wong, you look at that photo and it certainly looks like him, although presumably it's been taken from a distance, very grainy. A number of reports coming out. I couldn't find anything on the BBC, interestingly enough, but local papers, because the start of the story's up in North Wales in Anglesey. So here's the North Wales Chronicle, Anglesey knife point child abduction, 6 people in custody. So what was the Chronicle saying? Well, they were all remanded in custody by District Judge Gwyn Jones to appear at Carnarvon Crown Court on December the 7th.
They're very skillful at using everyday places for the most horrific things in the middle of the night. And these places, which may look very innocent in the daytime, can look quite different at night. Because I've on many occasions gone out at night to several of these places. As I said, when I do investigations, I like to do them with a very hands-on approach and not just speak as someone from a distance, but get close to the subject and see the actual places they use for these abuses. And that gives me also an understanding of how they think and how they try to conceal their actions.
Hey, it's okay. It's okay.
They said that I'd sexually abused them. And I was selling them to people. My kids are wonderful, I swear. And
because the start of the story's up in North Wales in Anglesey. So here's the North Wales Chronicle, Anglesey knife point child abduction, 6 people in custody.
But we all can do something, and we all should do something to expose this evil, and start with our own circle of contacts and friends, exposing it to them, sharing interviews like this far and wide with our contacts and friends. Is sometimes they think that they're not accountable to anybody at all, and they have to be questioned and challenged on this.
Does Wilfred worry about the risks of exposing such extremely dangerous and powerful people?
No. I think because they are dangerous and powerful, all the more reason why they need to be exposed. Because dangerous, powerful people can do much more damage to vulnerable people than those who are less powerful.
So we just had a little break. This is traumatic, this one, but people need to know. People need to know this. isn't it? Right. So, tell me all about the boat. Tell me what went on. Really, let yourself go in and tell me what went on at that boat.
Beautiful boat, masses everywhere, sails.
Yeah.
Really, you look up and they don't seem to stop, you know, with ropes and stuff. And then there's ropes at the front and everything, and a plank where you can, it says walk the plank. People used to walk the plank and jump into the sea in the Channel Islands.
Yeah, nice.
And stuff like that. Didn't have as much, you didn't have we didn't water ski a lot like that, but we did jumped in the seas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And stuff, and we got a lot of filming of the lads coming out, and they all were put into like see-through white shorts when they jumped in and then jumped out.
Where was all the film footage? Who got the film footage?
Well, I could never have had the film footage. Whoever paid for that film footage must have paid a lot of money for it being done, because it...
Well, you said to me when we had a break, you said, I haven't said half of what happened now.
No,
right.
No.
So let's have it. Tell us.
David Icke, do you know, like most magicians, David Icke is really just an illusionist, magician, and a fraud, you know, but do you know, like most magicians, and you see them, they come on stage with their pocket watch and they go like that.
Hypnotists.
Hypnotise you. Icke has a famous party trick, he used to have a famous party trick that he did virtually every night and everything, and he deliberately get kids hypnotised.
He'd hypnotise them?
He'd hypnotise the kids, physically, there's kids that make them think.
So different it's people, like, you see these hypnotists on these shows, and they get the people, but they don't know what's happening. He don't need the pocket watch, don't David Icke. He's learned the arts of hypnotising. And
to this demonic realm in our reality.
My friends, our next guest was a goalkeeper for Hereford United Football Club and Coventry City. He had to give up his sporting career because of incipient arthritis. After that, he was elevated to the lofty ivory tower of BBC Sports as a commentator. He was then cast to the ground again when he joined the Green Party in Britain and became their spokesman on various affairs. Now he's upwardly mobile and with a vengeance. He's written a book called The Truth Vibrations, in which he says, amongst other things, that the world, the planet as we know it, is destined to be destroyed in the near future unless we, all of us, all the peoples of the planet, change their ways and get into line with the natural environment and start protecting the world and start protecting the environment and the planet. Otherwise, things are coming to a crunch. Inter alia, he also claims to be the Son of God. He claims to be the Son of God. How you're going to react to this, I do not know. But would you welcome, please, David Icke. David. Hello. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. You do claim to be the Son of God, David?
Yeah, let's get it right. We're all the children of God. We're all created by God. We're created by the thoughts of God. When we think, we create an energy field. When we think thoughts of love, forgiveness, and peace, and all the things we want to bring to the world, we create a certain kind of very positive energy. When we think thoughts of hate, of all these other emotions of anger or fear, we create another kind of energy, a very destructive one, which, if it's in big enough quantities, destroys the very life force of creation, which comes from the being some call God. The name I'm given is the Godhead. Now, if we can create by thought, what can the Godhead do? this master spirit at the center of all creation. He can create almost anything he wishes by thought, and he creates us by thought.
But do you claim to be the Son of God? Because Terry Wogan said to you on the Wogan Show, you claim to be the Son of God, and you said yes.
Well, I am, yes, I'm saying that. What I'm saying is we're all the children of God. But some people come to earth, Jesus was one, there were many more before him, who are actually part of the soul of the Godhead. It's God incarnate on earth. That's what Jesus was, that's what these other people were before. To try to bring the truth to a planet that has lost that truth for 12,000 years, and as a result of which we have taken this wondrous planet to the brink of not existence.
Jesus said, I and the Father are one.
Mm-hmm.
That means he was the Son of God. Are you claiming that too? You and the Father are one?
We're all one with the Father.
No.
Oh, yes, we are. We're all one with the Father. What I'm saying is that if I, as Jesus was, and others were before him, an aspect, part of the soul of the Godhead, then these beings are the Godhead incarnate.
Then we are all sons of God and children of God in that way.
Well,
but are you special?
No one's special.
But have you been singled out?
The message that comes across all the time is the Godhead loves all of us as if there was only one of us. No one is special. But there are certain people who come to Earth at certain times, and to other planets too, at times of great crisis to try to help to sort things out. And they are just the Godhead in a physical body. This great transformation of Earth that's already is already underway, is being guided not by yours truly alone, but by the whole of creation. Because if this planet is destroyed, the whole of creation is thrown into chaos, because planets and stars are not there because the Godhead fancies it. Wouldn't it be pretty? Everything is there, it has a purpose, it has a meaning, it has a reason for existing. And if one of the planets or whatever ceases to exist because of the way we treat it, then the whole of creation is threatened. And my goodness me, I'll tell you this, it is threatened very much at this time. It is a matter of years if we continue to turn out this energy of hate, of anger and fear and all these other emotions that we have made into an art form on earth.
And on the other side of this onslaught, to which we will not bow, will lie that sunny sky and that song of the lark, as will be recalled by the storytellers of how a special people came together with stiff backbones and open hearts and refused to bow to tyranny.
I don't know if he's learned it from BBC News, that's something that I learned at BBC, but is it all through the for the Masons? It's probably something his dad taught him or something, I don't know. But he's got the knack, he can hypnotise an whole crowd like a magician, and he can make you think anything because you're hypnotised.
And what sort of, how did he use it? What did he use it? Did he use it against the kids?
He used it on kids, and he'd get the boys tapped girl things out and stuff like that, and
yeah.
And then, so the lad, when it was being filmed, really enjoyed what was being done to him.
Yeah. And what was being done to him?
Well, he was being buggered by the rest of the
males, the adults.
Everyone, including, well, happened to me as well. I was put in trance as well, because he just thought it was good he thought it was good, and the other cameraman that were there, and I was with him. So I just got 2 cameras, and I did hold the camera, and I did take footage, and I'm ashamed of that, but I was trapped in that, and I was 15 years old, and I didn't know any better at the time and stuff, but I was also abused. I was being abused, and so it happened to me as well, the same things and stuff. And
what else did you witness on the boat that was sort of became almost ordinary to you because of the world that you was put into? but to the public would shock. You know what I mean? So, you know, what things did you witness?
They get them doing all bizarre things and stuff like that. Like then,
what kind of bizarre things?
One time he got him holding off like a rope thing going to like it's like a rope thing what goes into loads of squares and you can climb the mast. And they had a 12-year-old lad hanging off it, dressed in. They got him dressed in women's tops and knickers and stuff like that, and they'd get all the lads to think there was women and all the girls would play out their men. And sometimes the girls would give the tie on dildos to the girls, and the girls would do the men's parts to the lads at the backsides and stuff, and sometimes they'd get the lads hanging from just hang there with the things because we're in a trance and everything. They thought it was funny and everything. And then they'd be buggered, you know, by like an Icke. Fucked one of the lads while he was holding there, 12-year-old lad, while he was hanging from this rope.
Did they?
Yeah, and it was caught on camera. But the lad was like in a trance. But there was drugs on the. Every time they cooked the food, because the cameraman says to me, "Why are you eating the food they're eating? Because it's special food." And when they say it's special food, it usually means that there's stuff added to it. They're all like different food to what would be cooked for the lads.
Yeah. And so they were dragging them with food or drinks?
Because they all had bunks, you know, like adverts, they're like bunk type beds. All the kids sleep on, it was like a corridor type of thing, and both sides of these, they're like hammocks, you know, they sleep on hammocks, yeah. They sleep on hammocks.
What, the kids?
Yeah, and then you go on, there's some rooms, there ain't that many rooms, it's a big yacht. Big sailboat, I don't know what you call it, but there was a couple of cabins, like rooms, probably 3 or 4, and this is where the people like I could stay, and the other people had stayed and stuff, people who paid to go, because some people paid to be there, and the kids, they could come and they could get hold of any of the kids, and they could take them to the.
Right, so that was it. But you also told me that David Icke, you spent the night with David Icke, and you slept with him one night.
Not on the boat.
Where was that?
That was BBC parties when I was younger.
Right,
and
so
well, no. David Icke had me fucked on the boat, but as far as I know, he never touched me on the boat because I saw the films afterwards.
What do you mean he had you fucked on the boat?
You got all the lads to get hold of me with the camera, and the other cameraman filmed it and everything. So, and then they pulled me down on the floor and everything, and then undressed me, and they got the lads, like including the girls, because they was in this trance sort of. Yeah. But I was put in a trance while I was filming it. He's so clever, so I went along with it, and we were all in it. He's so good at it, like. We were like all in the trance.
So was he controlling it all?
Yeah, he's controlled it all because it's like a big kid. He controlled it all. It was the power because he had control over all of us on that boat and everything.
Right, so now, you know what I mean?
But it does your mind.
Difficult, isn't it?
Your mind. Because if there was the Antichrist or the devil, he'd be like the devil, you know.
Force you to contract into the laws of England or the laws of Britain. You only have one allegiance, and that is to God and His chosen one. And I am, of course, that chosen one. I am the Lord Jesus Christ, and I now welcome you to the end times.
Going on over there, and for someone like me to come walking in and see it all, this is just like a repeat of the commercial industry that I've just been in, but in just as dark in another way.
To no offering, if I was in the same room as you now, I I'd fucking kiss you, mate.
How are you, Stan?
I'm right, thank you.
Good friend of mine. I'll give you a kiss in a minute,
I
bruv.
hope so.
Well, it's
I deserve one.
Purely masculine, yeah.
Me, man.
Have you connected SRA and the intelligence community?
Yes. In fact, for example, just one example, I'm also aware of at least one Satanist in one of the UK intelligence services having a go at me for my part in the campaign on the Holly Gregg case. And I know she works for GCHQ. So that was also a pretty clear example of intelligence service involvement. But as with the police, there are bad people and good people in the organization. And so I'm not saying all of them are against us, but I'm saying some of them are. And I'm saying that some of these people in intelligence services are more concerned about protecting the status quo and protecting certain VIPs than protecting children.
Right.
So we bear that in mind, but we also bear in mind that there are also, I'm sure, some good people in these groups that if they were well aware on these subjects, would want to, in their own very limited way perhaps, help and support the exposure of SRA. And I would say that it's not just the UK intelligence services, it probably also extends to other intelligence services.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming back, Wilfred. We've run out of time, loads of questions. Have you got any more questions for Wilfred?
Well, change of topic, a very serious one. We learnt last night, in fact, that Wilfred Wong, the child protection campaigner and a man who's particularly been working extremely hard over many years to protect children from ritualistic abuse, has been arrested.
And I've been selling them in this satanic cult thing. Not just, they said by myself, but by the named 60, 70, 80 people. And they said that we're killing babies. I was shipping them in, and we was cooking. They were showing with their hand movements how I would get their hand on the knives, and we would cut the baby's neck, drain the blood, and then drink the blood. And I mean, it's just horrific upon horrific detail.
Was it abroad, you think, where your ex-partner and her new boyfriend filmed your children making these allegations, which were then uploaded onto the internet?
Yeah, what they did, they beat my kids. The code licks, where you get a spoon and you hit the kid. I said a kid. It was in this instance, it was my two children. And her boyfriend had punched my son in the ear, and they were told to recount these allegations of what I'd done, or supposed to have done, as well as all these other people. And when they wouldn't, they said, "No, Papa, he didn't do this." And they said, "Yes, it did, you stupid little to my daughter." And it's sick.
Those clips of your children making those allegations, some people watching us now will have clicked on them.
Well, I didn't very much so. One video in the first 10 days, nearly 300,000 views. One video. There's now hundreds of them all over.
According to the judge involved in this case, they may have been viewed about 4 million times around the world. As a result of the spread of these clips on the internet, people sharing them, what sort of abuse did you receive?
Death threats. Today, yesterday, still comments on pedo, whatever. I understand. I get it.
I want to talk about the recent judgment that was made in your case in the family courts, and the judge very unusually decided to make her judgment public.
Yes.
Mrs. Justice Paulfley said in her judgment, "I'm able to state with complete conviction that none of the allegations are true. The claims are baseless. Those who've sought to perpetuate them are evil and or foolish."
2010, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake rocked the Haitian capital city, Port-au-Prince. The quake was a devastating blow to what was already the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. As the death toll rose, it became apparent that thousands of children had been orphaned by the disaster.
There are some 350,000 orphans in Haiti, and that's just an estimate.
Record keeping is so bad, no one really knows.
So if it's going to be used, it's better to focus on those groups who have risk of severe disease and death, rather than, as we see, some countries are using to give boosters to kill children, which is not right. Then the equity issue comes here. Instead of boosting a child in high-income countries, it's better to vaccinate the elderly in countries who have the elders who have not been vaccinated, even the primary vaccines. As we see, some countries are using to give boosters to kill children, which is not right.
Makes sense now. What else can you've been to the doctors twice, didn't they?
Yeah.
You've been to the doctors twice.
Yeah.
And they said there's a
I
couple of...
I was really hoping that they'll find some scars or something.
Why?
And they did find some scars. I have no idea why.
You don't know why?
No, I have no idea why. I was like hoping. I was hoping for.
Why was you hoping they'd find some?
Because then they'll say, you do not have any scars. So then I thought I'll get in trouble for not because I don't have scars. Then there will be not. Then the whole thing is. Then I'll get in trouble for not. Then
I've always told you that as long as you tell me everything, you won't get in trouble. You told me about, obviously, the swimming pool. You told me lots of people in these disabled toilets, and they've done stuff with you.
That's true. This is true, yeah.
It's true. Even though you said you was only 4 and you hadn't been to that school.
No, they were friends, like. Teacher, like I knew was when I was 4 years old because my sister was in the school when I was 4 years old.
Okay, so what we'll do is try and sort out what's true and what's not true. So the babies, it's not true. So no babies are being killed. There's no baby skulls. The secret rooms. Are there any secret rooms? What about with the wardrobes and going in?
No, there's not. Look, no, that's not.
Cupboards.
There's no, yeah. And then Abraham made me say that. He says, "Where is the secret room?" Look, he says, "Where the secretest part of my dad is the main person of doing the sex." The secret room. Look, he says, "Where the secretest part of my dad is the main person of doing the sex." So he's the main person.
Yeah.
Abraham accused me of saying he got the most secret rooms.
So, have you been to a house of your dad's with secret rooms?
No.
So there's no secret rooms?
No.
And have you ever been to Mr. Mulling's house, have you?
Holling.
Mr.
No,
Holling's
not
house?
Mulling's, it's Holling's.
Have you ever been to Mr. Holling's house?
Yeah. It's a number. Yeah, but all
And that's
about
still
that
true
church.
now?
all about that church, all about the what was his name, Father Paul's rooms, all not true.
All not true. Okay.
That's why I was so worried that. That's why I was so worried that you won't find any skulls in rooms.
Okay.
The rooms are true, not the secret room.
Yeah, no.
But this nursery room, all of that is true. But then I was so scared that you won't find the skulls in the church. So then I was so scared and worried.
It's fine. It's fine. You haven't been to. Your dad hasn't got any secret rooms. You haven't been to Mr. Holling's house. Okay.
Well, actually, my dad actually is supposed to be living in how's it called? Sheffield.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have London. He doesn't have a house in London. He actually lives in Sheffield.
Oh, he lives in Sheffield.
With his mum.
Yeah.
But do you know when I was on Skype?
Yeah.
I seen on Skype. He told me he was in Sheffield.
Oh, okay. Okay, so does your dad live in Sheffield?
Yeah, but he stays in his other friend's house, I don't know. And he stays in Mr. Holling's house.
Okay.
Yeah, and then sometimes he goes off back to Sheffield.
Okay. Alright, so, and do you know he stays at Mr. Holling's house, or do you guess that?
No,
Your
I
dad?
don't. No.
You don't know, you guess, or you
No,
know?
I don't guess because my dad and Mr. Holling are really close friends. Really
Okay. Okay. And the stuff with plastic willies, how did you find out about plastic willies? Who told you about plastic willies?
No, nobody, that's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've been told something different.
About Lisa.
Yeah.
And then they tell that there's a man called Felix there, and then he makes this he makes statues of churches, he makes that kind of stuff. Like so he makes.
Sorry. Can you be quiet, please? Just doing an interview. Cheers. Yeah, no, fine. Cheers.
I don't understand.
Well, there's obviously, if it's a kitchen,
yes.
To make, I assume, is it to make all the children's lunches?
Yes, but instead of making the children lunches, they give baby to the children.
They give baby to the children.
Yes, so they give if they say there's spaghetti bolognese that day, they put a bit of baby meat in all the time.
And how do they make baby meat to use spaghetti?
Because because they cut the baby. Mrs. Forsyth, the headmistress, she cuts the baby.
And what about all the bones and that?
Yes, they keep the bones.
Where do they go?
No, I know, but the bones they don't just keep them. They make stuff out of them. So they make statues of the
Where
church.
are these statues?
Yes, because they got carving there's carving people. They work near Swiss Cottage, somewhere there. That's where they work in the carving shop. And then they tell that there's a man called Felix there, and then he makes he makes statues of churches. He makes that kind of stuff. Like so, he makes.
Sorry. Can you be quiet, please? Just doing an interview. Cheers. Yeah, no, fine. Cheers. Cheers. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, cheers.
The stress ball, which we often send out to parents. But now look at this. It's not going to move anywhere because it's just had more activator put in. So let's do one more swirl and then we will call it a day. But look how this is just gorgeous, gorgeous slime. It's so good. And this is from being outside for 2 days in over 80 degrees of sun. Super sticky, as you saw from the beginning. Back to being perfect again. Last one. Look at that. Perfect.
You laugh. It's all over the net, isn't it? It's all over the net. Yeah? You laugh.